All right. Welcome back, everyone. Today I just wanted to cover something a little different. So 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, I made a day eating video, and essentially in that video, I mean, it's self-explanatory. You show everything you eat in the day, and I sort of, did a bit of macro counting, the total calories for the day, the protein content. But of course, since then, now that I do things like bodybuilding a little more seriously, we're tracking carbs, fats. We may even alter numbers on specific days. But so I just wanted to briefly touch on, how you can make your own meal plan, especially if you're not under guidance of a coach, a nutritionist, whatnot. Obviously, there are better people for that, especially a nutritionist can make sure you're meeting your nutritional needs at the same time. Especially because trackers aren't always, the most efficient at tracking, say, nutrition. But obviously, we can make do with what we have and do something for ourselves, of course. Anyway, so right now I essentially brought up one of my own meal plans. So I kind of just do this over something like Google Docs. You could probably do this even in Excel or on something called MyFitnessPal, which I'll show you in a sec if you don't know what that is. Maybe you already do. But yeah, so essentially I just open it up. I can even add things like, say, goals or, what we're doing. Maybe we're bulking, we're cutting, whatnot. Um, and then I basically just outline the base macros and what we're trying to achieve out of this plan. And that'll actually make it a little easier for your plan to make sure, you're on track. You have to hit, say, this target, that target, and whatnot, not go overboard with maybe the carbs or the fats. And that way, if you need to draw something back after on, make edits, then it'll be easier to do so. Um, the most effective kinds of meal plans will obviously have everything weighed out or at least measured to some degree. So, for example, let's say a cup of rice, or even if you want to go more accurate, say 200 grams raw, cooked, whatever, however you prefer to measure it. Anyway, so what you can do essentially after that, so I go insert, basically table. You'll have either pre-made templates or what I do, so I'll make just one row. The boxes will upgrade downward depending on how much you write in them, but they will keep stretching as much as they need to. So we only need really one row, and then you can have, say, up to um, six columns. So depending on how many meals you plan to have, if it's four, go 4 by 1, 5 by 1 for five, 6 by 1 for six. You can go even higher if you say are one of those people who has 8 a day. They're rare, but some people have to do that. It's insane. Anyhow, so let's add one right now just as an example. So there we go. It'll just look like this, but obviously, again, it'll stretch as we go on. So we can call this meal one, and so on and so forth until we reach what we're looking for. So let's just simplify this, copy paste it into this. Boom. Really easy. Now, I am going to make a meal plan for someone pretty soon. So I will clear all of this out. Um, just do that quick. Okay. Yeah. So we'll come back to that after. I'll show you how you can make a plan. But otherwise, so here's what I did. I'll kind of just backlog the steps of what I did to get to this. So for example, here, so my macros right now, when I'm making this, so we're aiming for about 2,500 calories a day, with 220 coming from protein, 240 from carbs, and 60 from fats. And a simple way to remember, especially if you're going to make your own macros like this, is that protein and carbs each have about 4 calories per gram. So you want to aim for roughly um, something that will fit into that. I didn't word that properly, but anyway, so yeah, protein has 4 calories per gram, carbs again 4 calories per gram. So let's say you have 250 grams carbs, that's 1,000 calories right there. And fats obviously 9 calories per gram. That's why they're never going to be as high. Um, and yeah, more important, the most important thing, at least, let's say bodybuilding, we want the protein and the carbs higher, fats a little on the lower side, but obviously just enough to keep getting the health benefits. So my plan also has a rest day. There's also a rest day plan where I have slightly less calories, so we'll drop it to about 2,300, a little less carbs, and we'll keep the fats and protein around the same. So this is essentially my training plan here, and to measure the food you're going to use, um, you want to go to either MyFitnessPal. That's especially good if you want to track on the daily. I find it's really helpful because you can log and say, well, actually, let me show you quickly. So yeah, you can have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. You can see here daily goal, daily carb goal, fat goal, protein goal. These are obviously wrong, and you have to get the premium, I think, to edit those macronutrient requirements now. But obviously, worst case, you can just trick the system and let it keep telling you things are either too high or too low. But I mean, chronometer is not too different. You'll have a page like this. It measures all your nutrients, and this one is free too. There is a premium, but as far as free versions go, this has more options for you. It's a little better, I find at least. But since I make regular plans anyway, like this, where I basically have the same thing day to day, I don't, have any reason to keep logging on here. I'll just make the plan on here and then follow the plan uh, as such. So obviously, when you're going to make your own plan like this, you're going to have to do some trial and error. You can't get it perfectly on the spot. Um, so just be wary of that. You can also do something easy, like say, Doc, what are common foods you eat? So let's say, for example, protein, random protein-rich foods. So say chicken, beef, fish, and then you could put, say, a plant-based source, tofu, or say some beans, something like that. Otherwise, carbs. So we can put, potatoes, rice, pasta, and your fats. Let's say small amounts of oils, healthy oils, so avocado, coconut, olive oil, etc. Um, then you can have something more like coconut or other nuts. And other than that, I mean, there aren't too many things in the way that, oh yeah, we can also put avocados. And I mean, there won't be a huge variety with your fats. Um, but, oh yeah, and we can also include seeds. Anyway, since I'm doing this on the spot, I can, I might be excluding certain things, but otherwise, it's just, an easy example. So that's how we can do that. So we can plan, say, meal one will have chicken, rice, and a bit of oil for the fats, like olive oil. So let's do something like that now. So let's take all of this, and I'm going to make a brand new meal plan. And you can even, like I did, put supplements underneath, uh, and you can know when to have them. So, for example, a meal containing fats, you'll want to take, say, your omega 3s, your multivitamins, D3, things that will require fats for absorption, or just, things to have with your meals, turmeric, B12, copper, etc. Um, I even have pre-workout supplements, before bed supplements, and some as needed first thing in the morning, as you need, really. Anyway, let's get to this. Let's not waste any more time. So let's say we have a client who needs 3,000 calories a day. We'll split this over 6 meals to make it easier to get the food down. This client wants to bulk. So let's just we won't take weight into consideration today. Obviously, know your metabolic rate, and you can determine that with easy online calculators. There's plenty of them. You just plug in your weight, age, height, how often you train, and they'll give you a rough estimate. Obviously, it's not the most accurate, but worst case scenario, you might just have to decrease or increase slightly based on that number. I think it gives you a pretty good idea of what you need. Um, so that's as I mean that's as good as it's gonna get. But again, you might have to just adjust things as needed. Plans probably need to be adjusted as well, but at least when you measure stuff in grams, you can either up it or lower it pretty easily, or just replace a food altogether. Okay, so 3,000 calories, and now we can split that among each macro. We won't include a rest day plan, but you can do that if you want. If you're really higher level and you want to adjust things to basically everything you do. Um, so yeah, we'll have 3,000 calories. Let's say this client is on the lighter side, maybe 180 pounds. And let's theoretically say we want to do 1 pound, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Then we'll have 180 grams of protein as a start. I think when you start with protein, it'll be easier to determine what you want out of that. So maybe you want higher protein, less carbs. So you'll have your protein nice and high, and then there'll be a little less room for carbs and fats. If we have 180 protein, 180 times 4, that's 720 calories just from the protein. Um, so I'll put a note about that. And then, all right, carbs. So now we have a lot of room left. So we still have 2,280 calories to spread around. Since this is going to be a bulk plan, let's say, um, we want to fill out a lot of carbs, right? A lot of carbs are especially good for bulking, especially someone on the lighter side, skinnier, that can make better use of carbs. They can metabolize them a little better. So we can easily put in, say, um, 300 could be an easy start. That'll be 1,200 calories coming from carbs alone. So we'll start with 300 grams of carbs, and that comes out to 1,200. But that would leave over 1,000 calories of room for fats, and we probably don't want, that much room. So let's say 350 carbs here, and that will be 1,400 calories from carbs, and that leaves us 880 calories left for fats. So we can divide that by 9, and that will give us roughly um, 98 grams of fats. That is even a little high for fats. Again, that's an argument for increasing carbs, but let's just we'll do this as an example. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want to, make the point of how you can do this easy. So let's say meal one, we want to do chicken, rice, and a little bit of oil. We'll say the rice wasn't cooked with anything but water. It's a bit dry. Put some oil for fats. So we'll say some olive oil. And then you can go to something here, chronometer. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so chicken breast, skinless, fatless. There you go. So you get 9 grams of protein per about 50 calories. So that's 1 ounce. So let's say my client will get 4 ounces in this meal to get him 35 grams of protein and a little under 200 calories. Okay, so that's the chicken. Now we'll put rice. So rice, I say, is a bit easier to measure. If you're meal prepping, it will be easier to measure raw weight, but obviously cook weight will be a little more efficient because if you measure dry, then you're kind of just roughly estimating how much you're giving yourself every day by, say, splitting it into four or something like that. Not that that isn't, it'll probably be fine in the grand scheme of things, but sometimes it won't be. So let's just assume for the sake we'll measure in raw. Let's say my client likes basmati rice. I mean, most rices across the board have the same amount of calories per serving size, unless you're talking about maybe like red rice, black rice, wild rice, those exotic rices. But we're sticking to simple white rice. Most of them are the same. Um, and this is, oh yeah, this is cooked. Okay, I guess we can only really measure cooked on here. Unless actually no. Let me check if there's raw. There should be raw. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll just say simple white rice. And there you go. For exactly 4 calories per gram. So let's say we want about 350 grams of carbs split over 6 meals. So this one will have maybe 60 grams of carbs. We'll aim for about 60 per meal. So it's a little more evened out. Boom. And then we have olive oil. Throw 13 grams. We'll say 20 grams of olive oil, just so it's a little over a spoonful. And there you go. That's already one meal, almost 600 calories, almost 40 grams of protein, 47.2 grams of carbs, 25 grams of fat already on the board. Easy peasy. And now you can adjust something as you need because, again, this is a rough estimate, not completely accurate. Well, not that it's not completely accurate, but we can have a better meal for the client. Um, so in this case, I'd say we can even increase the carbs slightly to the 60 grams we wanted. So let's actually edit this to 70 grams of rice. And that should, okay, that's a little better. And there's a perfect 40 grams. I like that. Okay, perfect. So chicken, 4 ounces, rice, raw 70 grams, and olive oil, 20 grams. And yeah, pretty much you can fill it as necessary based on that. So you can, for example, we can make meal two a pre-workout, meal three the post-workout, etc., until the whole plan is finished. Again, it's probably going to end up exactly how you want it. We can't be that precise on the dot the first time. You might need to adjust things as necessary, like I just did. especially once you finish this, because some things might be off. You might need to say add more carbs in one meal, reduce a little protein in one, maybe lower the fats a bit in another meal because they're bumping the calories up too high. Um, but yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this helps, and I'll see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.